Aurora is shaking with fright in the middle of the night. She screams when she hears something moving under the bed. Her parents arrive right away to see what's wrong, and Aurora informs them there's a monster under her bed. She also tells them not to touch the floor, since the beast can't get them if they don't. The mother waits at the entrance and bends down to look, saying there's nothing down there. Before they leave, the parents tell her to go to sleep and wish her good night. Aurora is still too terrified, so she crawls through the window and sleeps on the balcony. When she looks inside, she still sees the dust bunny under the bed. She wishes on a shooting star when it appears in the sky. A firefly suddenly emerges in front of her, and Aurora follows it until she sees her neighbor from flat 5 leave the area. The next day, Aurora tries to see what the neighbor is getting in the mail by looking into his mailbox. When 5B comes back, she hurriedly hides and steals his things. Aurora sees 5B go up the stairs and then comes out to use the lift. She hesitates at first, but he holds the door open for her, so she goes in. When they get to their floor, Aurora can't help but look at his door. Aurora stands on a balcony that night and watches 5B go again. She takes a blanket and goes down the fire escape to pursue him. 5B hears something and looks around, so Aurora immediately hides behind the trash cans. 5B just sees the blanket when he looks, so he leaves. Aurora keeps following him until they get to Chinatown. There, she finds a mask in the trash and puts it on to cover her face. Then she goes to the roof of a random building and keeps an eye on 5B from above. Finally, she sees him in an alley with a gang of men with a large dragon puppet following him. Firecrackers shoot off all of a sudden around the dragon, and 5 comes out of the shadows, spins around a pole, and then attacks the soldiers. First, he attacks the guys around the puppet, killing them one by one with swift, smooth maneuvers and accurate strikes. When the dragon almost gets him, he has to slide out of the way, and a firecracker explosion kills a couple more folks. Then 5B pulls out a special weapon to block an attack and keeps fighting, using the same remarkable talents to kill additional adversaries. He even goes under the dragon to murder the people who are holding it. Aurora thinks she's seeing him kill a real dragon because of all the lights and smoke. Aurora then goes home with him. 5B is hurt, and blood sometimes drips on the floor, so he takes off his shoe and cleans it with his sock every time. He cleans the last one with his sleeve before going into his flat. He acts like he's closing the door, but he's really watching Aurora, who comes out of hiding and knocks on her door so her parents would let her in. They chastise her while they give her a bath, but Aurora is too busy watching the dust bunnies disappear under the floor. The couple puts Aurora to bed, and her dad tells her that he is putting all of her worries in his pocket. Aurora's parents say goodnight, but she says farewell. The sounds start up soon, and Aurora hides under her blankets as the monster comes out of the floor and leaves the room to kill her parents. She can hear them all screaming and roaring while she tears. Aurora is too scared to touch the floor the next morning, so she moves around on a statue of a hippo with wheels. She looks in the master bedroom and sees that it is utterly destroyed, and her parents are nowhere to be seen. Aurora eats cereal by herself and then walks to the lobby to wait for 5B all day, but he never shows up. Aurora goes back to her apartment and grabs some grapes from a kitchen. Then she goes to her room and starts walking on the furniture to stay off the floor. When she drops a grape by accident, she freezes, but nothing occurs, so she keeps going till she gets to her bed. Then she takes off her boots, and one of them falls off by accident. The floor shakes, and Aurora hides under the sheets. Very slowly, a piece of wood is sliced off, and Claw emerges out of the hole to grab the grape. The monster swallows it in the hole, but it doesn't like the taste, so it spits it out. The fruit hits a lamp and breaks the light bulb. Aurora tosses her blanket over the hole, but the monster only pulls it down. The monster moves the bed to hinder Aurora from getting away. Then it comes out of the floor, showing off its big, hairy body. The bed becomes stuck on its back, so Aurora grabs on tight to keep from falling. The creature keeps turning around to hunt for her. When it can't find her, it chooses to go back, and the floor closes behind it without a hitch. Aurora wakes up the next morning to find her boots on the bed, which makes her confused. But the damaged light bulb also proves that the monster was real. After that, she goes to church, where others are giving money to the collection plates. The kids have to take the plate back to the priest, but Aurora simply pretends to help and then skips out of the building with the money. A few minutes later, 5B gets his mail and finds a strange envelope with lovely stickers on it. He sees Aurora peering out the window at the hallway when he gets to his floor. 5B opens the mail in his apartment and finds a letter from Aurora claiming she wants to employ him to exterminate the monster that lives under her bed. He begins to count the money that arrived with the letter, but a knock on the door stops him. Aurora wants to know if the money is enough. Aurora tells him her name after he allows her in, but he won't tell her his. The envelope had $327.42 in it, and Aurora says she took it from the chapel. When 5B asks her why she thinks he can slay monsters, she says she saw him kill a dragon in Chinatown. 5B says that she thought objects and monsters weren't real, but she still thinks they are. He wants to know what her parents think about this, so Aurora says that the monster ate them. 5B is worried and interested, so they go to Aurora's flat and look around in the parents' room. There is no blood, but there's a bullet casing on the floor, and wounds, and cuts on walls. 5B wants to know why the neighbors didn't hear anything, and Aurora says it's because the monster eats screams too. After that, they go back to his house, and he wonders why she hasn't called the police. Aurora tells him that they won't listen to the monster story. 5B questions why a monster would kill her family while playing her game, but she only answers that they touched the floor. 5B says that monsters don't kill humans merely for touching floors. The creatures who are after him want to kill him because he kills other monsters. 5B sends Aurora home since he is upset with the conversation. That night, 5B meets Lavender, his handler, at a pub that is located in the train tunnels. He shows her the IDs of Aurora's parents and explains that professionals took them. He thinks that some mercenaries were chasing him and grabbed the wrong flat. They had to kill the parents because they saw their faces. Laverne says she will look into it and says that Aurora knows too much, but 5B won't kill a child. Laverne realizes that he feels bad about what happened and thinks it's stupid. 5B is up late at home, and just like he thought, he hears the lift moving. He goes right to Aurora's apartment and informs her that a monster is approaching and she needs to hide in the closet. Then 5B climbs up to the ceiling and waits by the main door. He drops the knife he has in his mouth by accident. At that moment, an assassin comes inside the flat. 5B leaps on him to start a fight when he's close enough. The assassin grabs the knife first, and 5B avoids being hit by going through the glass in the ceiling. The assassin grabs 5B as soon as he lands again and starts smashing him against the walls. 5B gets a huge light bulb and hits the guy in the head with it. Then he tries to choke him, and they finish up with their feet on each other's faces. The assassin quickly grabs 5B in a chokehold, and 5B starts pushing his fingers into the man's neck till he dies. At the same moment, another killer sneaks into Aurora's bedroom from the balcony. She shoots the bulge on the bed, but when she pulls the blankets off, she sees that the pillows were just a trick. The woman opens the closet and moves the head of a costume to find Aurora, who is scared. The monster comes out of the floor and attacks her just as she's going to shoot the girl. It breaks down the wardrobe doors and eats her. After that, 5B runs to Aurora's chamber and finds out that another assassin has come. He believes the killer got away, but Aurora says she was eaten. 5B takes Aurora to the kitchen and informs her that additional killers will come to finish the deed. He looks around the room and sees that the only hole in the floor is where the assassin shot her. Then 5B takes Aurora's panda luggage to the bathroom with the assassin's body and all of his gear. 5B wraps the body in plastic and hangs it over the tub, but when Aurora comes up behind him, he drops it by mistake. He tells her that he's emptying the body's fluids so that he doesn't make a mess when he cuts it up. He decides to place the pieces in the bags to get rid of them, and he closes the door so Aurora can't see what he's doing. Aurora falls asleep in front of the door, and 5B wakes her up when he's done cutting. He lets her help him package up all the bits because the body doesn't appear human anymore. Aurora asks a lot of questions while she works. 5B finally comes clean and says he's a hitman. An assassin killed her parents because they were hunting for him. Aurora knows too much, so now additional assassins are being sent to assassinate both of them. She tells him not to feel bad since a monster constantly kills her parents. Someone knocks on the door and interrupts their talk. 5B opens just enough to let Brenda, who says she is a social worker, enter. Brenda is scheduled to undertake a routine checkup on Aurora, who is in her third foster family. 5B acts like Aurora's father, but he makes a lot of blunders while they talk, which makes Brenda suspicious. 5B, who is worried, says he is sick and gets her to change the date. He decides that Brenda isn't a real social worker as soon as he closes the door. Brenda also tells someone in her earpiece that 5B isn't the genuine father. After that, 5B questions Aurora about her other foster family, and she reveals that the monster ate them all. She wished on a shooting star for a monster to get rid of her first family because they were nasty to her. She couldn't get rid of it, though, so she made another wish for 5B to kill it. Aurora doesn't have anyone in this world, and 5B won't answer when she asks if he does. So she tells him that she will miss him if he is gone. Later, 5B meets Laverne at a cafe and presents the suitcases. He pretends that the assassin's body is solely in the big one, and that the fragments of Aurora are in the small one. Laverne says that she was the one who sent the killers, but they weren't targeting 5B. She just wanted them to kill Aurora, since she knows too much. Then she tells everyone what the investigation found. No one knows anything about Aurora's parents. Laverne believes that Aurora's monster stories are her method of dealing with her pain because her birth family left her. Laverne also looked into who was trying to assassinate 5B, and it turns out that all of the criminals want him dead. Aurora comes over to the table and interrupts the talk. This utterly ruins 5B's strategy to make her look dead so that the assassins would leave her alone. Laverne believes that 5B is helping Aurora deal with his own personal trauma and tells him to leave the city. After that, 5B and Aurora go to a restaurant where they see a strange guy observing them from the bar. Aurora wants 5B to be her dad, but he tells her that all her dads die. 5B says that when he was a kid, he felt his mom was the most beautiful woman in the world. But as he got older, he discovered that his brain was making him think things that weren't true. He tries to convince Aurora that she's making up the monster, but this only makes her mad and starts a fight. The creepy guy interrupts them and asks if the girl is 5B's daughter. Aurora says yes, but 5B says no. The server serves the dinner, and 5B eats a dumpling shaped like a rabbit that Aurora thinks is moving. The scary man says he's a hitman, but he only wants 5B and doesn't want the girl to become involved. 5B tells him to wait outside and promises to see him after supper. 5B tells the waiter to put everything in to-go boxes once the person leaves. Then he and Aurora leave without meeting the guy. Aurora holds 5B's hand as they travel through Chinatown. She sees that the creepy man is following them, and 5B says he has strategy. As they pursue the two men to the apartment block, more hit men join the first one. Brenda comes a few minutes later because 5B called her. When Aurora opens the door, she discovers strange males on the stairs as well. 5B tells her to go to her room, where she hides under a secret spot he made in the mattress. Then 5B tells Brenda that he is merely a caring neighbor who cares about his and Aurora's lives. He believes that all the foster families have been killed and that he will be next, so he asks Brenda to obtain aid. 5B turns out all the lights and points to the hitmen waiting outside to get her to believe him. Brenda calls her driver on her earpiece, and he sees the men too and promises to get help. At that moment, someone rings the doorbell, and 5B runs to open it, ignoring Aurora's request to get off the floor. 5B checks the window, and then opens the door to see Laverne. He pulls her into the hallway to talk about what's going on. She tells him that the people outside are getting ready to attack, but 5B replies he's the one who is going to attack. He told Brenda that Aurora's families had perished to get her to call for help because he knew she was an undercover FBI agent. He really believes that the families left a girl behind. Laverne yells at him and tells him that Aurora can't survive because she's seen their faces before urging 5B to rescue himself. 5B kisses her hand and tells her to go. Brenda tells 5B that she is an FBI agent when they get back to the flat, and 5B acts like she is really astonished. Brenda says she's looking into Aurora's families, and 5B is surprised to learn that her old foster parents are really missing. They only had one clue, an open bottle of thumb-sucking repellent they found in the first house. Someone was putting it to her finger and disappeared with the applicator brush, which was subsequently found under the floorboards. No one knows how it got there, but 5B jokes that the monster spit out because it scares people. They hear a commotion all of a sudden and run to check on Aurora. She says she unintentionally touched the floor. 5B goes to the window to look out, and Aurora begins throwing things at him and urging him to get off the floor. When a floorboard cracks, Aurora screams in pain. 5B orders her to hide and leaves the room, not seeing the floor break behind him. At that moment, the killers fire at the door, which forces 5B and Brenda back. Then the monster jumps out and hides again right away. The hitmen shoot through the hole in the door, so 5B steals Brenda's gun and shoots back. He kills a couple attackers while dragging Brenda, who is unconscious, to the toilet. Then 2 FBI officers show up in the hallway and start shooting, killing a few more hitmen. The people who live through it kick the door open and hide in the flat. 5B realizes he's out of bullets in the bathroom and starts looking through Brenda's clothes, but she wakes up and grabs her gun back. 5B puts his ear to the floor to listen to the hitmen move around, but instead, he hears Aurora. He finally believes what Aurora has told him and climbs into the wash basin. He tells Brenda to get off the floor as well. The monster comes back into Aurora's chamber just as an assassin is ready to open the bathroom door. The creepy guy tries to shoot it, but the monster isn't hurt and comes out to eat a full man. The other hitmen start to fear and shoot at the monster as they go to the door, but the bullets don't accomplish anything, and the monster keeps eating them one by one. 5B looks for anything he can use to fight in the bathroom and finds a bottle of thumb-sucking deterrent. A hitman is tossed through the door and into the tub, where 5B stabs him in the eye with an electric toothbrush. Brenda shoots the man first and then closes the door when he tries to shoot her. Finally, all the yelling stops. There are only 4 hitmen remaining, and they are staying alive by hanging on the wall. One of them drops his weapon by accident, which lets the monster out to consume him and pull his body back into its pit. Brenda and 5B then throw the hitman's body into the hallway as a test, and the others shoot him right away. The monster comes back and consumes this body too, so 5B shuts the bathroom door again. The FBI agents suddenly rush into the flat and try to arrest the hitmen, who don't want to come down but have to. One of the agents barges into the toilet, and Brenda convinces him not to arrest 5B, saying he is a worried neighbor. Then Brenda runs to the hallway and tells her co-workers to get off the floor while she holds onto wall. A claw comes out of the floor to close the entrance door before the monster comes out and eats everyone in the hallway. Aurora puts her hands over her ears since she can hear all the shouting and gunfire outside her room. When everyone is gone, the creature goes back to its pit. 5B then jumps on the hippo and rides it to Aurora's room, where she promises to assist her in getting away. But the monster comes back and grabs him with its mouth. 5B tries as hard as he can to keep the mouth open, but he isn't powerful enough, and it shuts around him. The monster goes back into its hole, and Aurora, who is heartbroken, whispers, "I told you so," before hiding again. The next morning, Aurora wakes up because she hears something strange. A hole opens up, and the monster spits forth 5B, who is safe because of the thumb-sucking deterrent. They hug when they see each other again, but Laverne, who is wearing gun shoes, breaks up the beautiful moment. 5B tries to warn her about the monster, but she only wants to murder Aurora. 5B asks Laverne to relocate by calling her mom, which shows that she's his mother and all his problems arise from growing up in her dirty industry. Laverne urges him not to call her that, and makes fun of the idea of a monster. Right before she desperately starts a fire with her shoes, the monster hides under the floor and comes out behind her to eat her. 5B whispers "Mom" for the last time as he watches her die. Then he takes Aurora to the balcony, but before he can move, the monster flips the bed over and gets ready to eat him. 5B gets out of the path, and the monster eats the whole bed. It comes back for more soon, so Aurora gets in between it and 5B, trying to save her only friend. The beast stops moving, and 5B tells it that it doesn't want to devour her because it's hers. Therefore, she needs to learn to live with it. This gives her the courage to finally tell the monster to stop. After that, the two of them climb down the fire escape and leave the city to start over. Later, while they're driving across the country, the monster chases after their automobile. Brenda is still alive when they get back to the flat because she was hiding in a cabinet. To see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and enable on notifications. Thanks for watching.